So today we're gonna try something kind of crazy, or maybe not crazy, but I want to see if we can make a React hook that lets us embed Vue components in React components. Hopefully there's no practical reason to do that, but you know, I just want to see what it would look like. So I'm gonna start with Vue because I think that's gonna be an easier starting point, and then we're gonna add React as dependencies and go from there. Also, I don't really know Vue, so we're gonna see how Vue works, or we're just gonna play around with it. So let's see. This is Vue. It does stuff. Hello world Vue. This is our entire Vue component. Cool. So let's add React and React DOM, and we're gonna then hack around this and do stuff. So let's see, dependencies, React DOM. There we go. Right. Now in main.js, we're gonna change this to render a React component instead. Why is this not loading anymore? Okay, and it says that there's 2 people. I just want to make sure that the chat room works, because last time I was live coding, the chat room was kind of acting up and I couldn't see anything. Let's see, why is this? What is using so much processing power right now? Okay, something tells me if I kill the Windows server, that's not going to be a good idea. But we do have a lot of Chrome helpers that, yay, hello world cereal. Yes, I have some really cool peanut butter cereal here. I'm gonna kill this Chrome helper. Let's see what crashes. Hopefully it's not this thing. Oh, and of course, computer decides right now to go make backups. Okay, so we have Vue, and we're going to import React from React, and we're going to import React DOM from React-DOM. Okay, so we got that stuff. Now, oh, interesting. YouTube crashed. Okay, let's get YouTube back, because I don't know if you can hear the background music, but I was enjoying it. So, function app. Wow, come on. Function app doesn't take any things and returns a div. Let's return an h1 that says hello world. Right? So we got that. Function. Okay, my keyboard is getting really bad. I need to buy a new keyboard. Then we say React DOM.render, and we're going to skip the Vue stuff for now, and we're going to render app in document find element by ID. Is it? DOM find element by ID, that's what it's called. Is it? Get element by ID, that's what it's called. Oh, and should I zoom this in? I think I should. There you go. Now you're gonna have an easier time seeing it. So get element by ID, looks like it's called hashtag just app, and let's see if it renders the app. Function duplicate declaration of app, right? Because we're importing app from Vue. Console is complaining. H is not defined. How long does it take? So Candy Cane asks how long it takes to learn to code well enough to get an entry-level job. Honestly, I don't think there's a direct answer for that. You'll often see success stories from boot camps where people are like, yay, I got a, where people like have 6 months of bootcamp experience or 3 months of bootcamp experience and they get an entry-level job. But it usually turns out that those people are actually have like a master's in some other field or a bachelor's or whatever. I think if you were to go completely from scratch, depending on your background, to be able to be productive, you would have to do probably like at least 3 months of pretty... Hey Matteo, I think you would have to do at least 3 months of pretty intense study if you've never coded before ever. But then it really depends on what kind of background you have. So why is H not defined? Let me look at other code sandboxes so I can see how the bootstrapping works, because I very rarely get to set up a React app from scratch. Yeah, I think it's Column A has a good point that it's really important that you're working on an actual project to study stuff instead of just going from like, hey, I want to learn to code and then doing random shit. Oh, React DOM.render, what did I call? .render. So that should be working. Interesting. Okay, so we are importing, this imports React from React and React DOM from React DOM. This is an example I was working on some other time. Get element by ID. So why is this not working? H is not defined. Okay, I need to make this a little bigger because I am blind and it's hard to see what you guys are saying. Okay, back to chat. Cool. I can even make this bigger because we're just sandboxing right now. So for some reason H is not defined and I don't know why. I think something is wrong with my let's see, dependencies here, React and React DOM, React scripts. Should we add React scripts here? Let's see what happens if I do that. React scripts. So apparently I don't know how to set up, I don't know how to make a Vue project use React, so that's a problem. And I think it's a code sandbox problem. Vue DevTools extension, I have the Vue DevTools extension. Okay, come on, load. Is there a webpack here? So we're using Vue CLI, which is probably the wrong template. Package JSON, React DOM render, H is not defined. So let's see. React H is not defined. Uncount reference error, H is not defined. Why is my computer so slow right now? Okay, so this is, everything is talking about, okay, I think something is misconfigured, so let's try. What happens if we do React create element? Or actually, code sandbox enable JSX. Okay, I think that's the thing we're missing. JSX, how do we enable it? Come on, there's gotta be some configuration files. There we go. configuration UI, sandbox configuration. So if I go here, configuration files, we have package JSON. Let's see what this one does. So configuration files here, package JSON. Aha! Arrow function. Yes, you can make your app function a arrow function component. Yeah, Kingdaro has a good point that it's probably configured to use views age by default, but I don't know how to override that. What happens if we say import age from React? No, it's probably gonna be in React DOM, isn't it? Or is it even being exported? Probably not. That's not gonna work. How does old school React work? React create element. Wow. My computer is being really slow right now and I'm not sure why. Why are backups running right now? This is a really bad time for backups. Skip. Okay, so var requires React create element. Let's see. Type props children. Okay. Okay. Let's try that. What happens if we do React create element app? No. Wait, come on. I need an example. Wait. Create element. Create such as div or span, a React component type, a class or a function, or a React fragment type. Okay. So if I do that, it should work in theory. Add JSX comment on top. Warning: app is use Pascal case for React components or lowercase tag app is unrecognized in this browser. If you meant to render React component, start its name with an uppercase letter. Like that. Let's see. Add JSX. Okay, so Kingdaro is saying that some of his messages aren't showing up, and I'm not sure why that would be. Okay, so the problem here might be that I would have to deal with. Okay, so now here H is not defined. Let's see if React ever exports H so that I can try to get it from there. So if we go to React, Facebook React, let's see, packages, React, render it as JSX, render what as JSX? React require React source, let's see, index, does it have require source React? Oh wait, I forgot to answer an important Slack message, give me just a second. Const h equals That's a good idea. Okay, let's try that. So const h equals react create element, and then here we can move this back to app, and let's see if King Daro's suggestion is correct. Invalid attribute name 0 in h1 created by app. What? So that didn't work. So it has create elements. Does it ever export H or something? Doesn't look like it. Hard reload, blah blah blah, no. Okay, so this seems like not a great way to start. I know what we can do. Let's try it from the other direction. Let's start a React project and add Vue to it. That might work. Okay, if I stop streaming this, that might work better as well. So we're gonna create a React sandbox. So now we have a React project, and we know that React works here. Let's make sure it loads. I still haven't replied to Slack. Give me a second. Sorry, I just need to give my QA team the green light for something. Okay, cool. So we now have a working React project, and I'm gonna try adding Vue to it. So if we add a dependency, Vue, because Vue is amazing and only needs one dependency, right? So we now have Vue. I'm going to make a let's see what happens if I copy it. All right, because everything is zoomed in on this domain. So this is my Vue template. I'm gonna go to my components, and we have hello world.vue or app.vue. App.vue, let's try that. So app.vue, we create a new file. Well, the QA team is in the Philippines, so it's really not that late for them right now. Time in the Philippines. Let's see what time it is for them. Yeah, see, it's 3 p.m. It's really not that bad. I'm the one who has to talk to them at 11 p.m. So, new file, let's call it experiment.vue, and we copy pasta this thing, and here we just say, instead of assets logo, we're going to say hello world, and this is going to be an h2 because that's what happened under my fingers. So we have id app h2 hello world, export default experiment, and the ID is going to be experiment, and it doesn't need any components, it's not importing anything, and experiment like that. Parsing error, and JSON JSX element must be wrapped in an enclosing tag. Did you want a JSX fragment? Okay, so this is a problem. It looks like we can't have, at least in Code Sandbox, we might not be able to have both Vue and React configured at the same time. And I don't really feel like setting up our own Webpack right now. Code Sandbox, parallel Vue and React config. This looks promising. So the same site made with React, Vue and Svelte, all are controlled by the query router. Okay. Cool. Ah, sandbox config.json. Okay, so we now have everything. How do I make it work? So we have Vue and whatever this query stuff is, but Vue and React work in parallel. And is Vue using... right, so Vue isn't using the proper Vue files. So I'm gonna try... that's annoying. So it looks like we can't actually have normal Vue files, but we can still have a Vue component, like the default kind. So let's see, Vue component, how do we make that? Components basics, Vue.component, no, that's not cool. There. Alright, so it looks like this experiment won't go very far. But instead of doing that, actually let's try. Let's try what happens. So we have the experiment view and it exports. Let's see what happens if we here say import experiment from /experiment view, and no, unexpected token. Unexpected token in index.js. Oh, because I can't spell import. So import. Wait, it seems like it actually may have worked. YouTube is having problems. What kind of problems is YouTube having? Is my stream stuttering or is like the chat room acting up? Because right now my entire computer is being very slow, so it's hard for me to tell what's going on. Okay, and we also went from 9 viewers to 4, so that's unfortunate. But let's see. So we are able to import the experiment. Now okay, now let's see how we might be able to render that. Okay, how does Vue normally render stuff? In main.js, we say new Vue render h app and it mounts into hashtag app. Okay, so let's see then. What happens if we make a use Vue hook? So here we're going to say Vue component that renders, actually let's do it like this, Vue, yeah, we're gonna call it view component that renders, let's just say render equals experiment. Okay, and now we define function, oh my god, function view component, which takes a render prop and returns. So it needs to do all of this stuff. Let's see. So new view blah. So const ref equals use ref. So React use ref from React. How does use ref work? I keep forgetting. So Anthony asks what I think of hooks, and I have to say hooks look really amazing. I like them for simplifying my functions, and well, my components I've been playing around with hooks a lot, and they make components really much easier to use. And I like how you can extract, you can have a bunch of logic in your function, in your functional component, and you can extract it into a custom hook, and it's really amazing to work with. So we have a use ref null. Okay, use ref starts with null, and it renders a, let's say it's going to return a div that's going to have a ref of ref, and then that div is going to have this new view stuff, and this is going to run on use effect. So use effect runs new view. We don't want it to return anything, and we want this to run do we want it to run every time? Let's mount it just once, and it's going to mount into ref.current, right? Yes, so .current, yep. We also need to import view from view, and now let's see what happens. The above error occurred, use effect is not defined. So use ref, use effect, and will it render? View DevTools, so it's supposed to be rendering, but I can't quite see it. Oh, because we're calling app instead of the render method that we are importing. The above error occurred. Okay, let's reload. Aha. The above error occurred. What's the above error? Consider adding an... The above error occurred in view component created by app, in div created by app, in app. Okay, but what is the actual error? Is what I'm wondering. I'm very confused. I don't know what the error is. Okay, let's see, what does view.mount take? View$mount API Vue.js $mount, what does that actually take? Mount options DOM lifecycle hooks. Okay, only respected in instance creation via new, so it needs to be a string. Provide the view instance on an existing DOM element to mount on. It can be a CSS selector string or an actual HTML element. After the instance is mounted, the result element will be accessible as vm.el. So it can be an actual HTML element, which means this should work. So if we say console log ref.current, let's see, so it's a div, but it's not rendering. What if, let's see, console log render, maybe that's what the problem. Okay, that seems to work. Console was cleared, blah. What if we give it element directly? Illegal constructor. Oh, because it's called experiment. So we import the experiment. Does the full console have any better error reports? Okay. Reload. Uncaught dump failed to execute create element on document. The tag name provided, blah, is not a valid name. Okay. So this is where the problem is. The Webpack config, like the config in this code sandbox, doesn't actually know how to import view files correctly. So let's see if I can figure out how to fix that. But I think that, hey Fuzzy Buddy, haven't seen you in a while. So I think that this view component stuff actually works. The problem is that what's the problem? The problem is that the configuration for code sandbox is not correctly loading the view file. So when that file loads, it's trying to create an element that doesn't exist, quote unquote. So let's see if we can fix that by looking at how this thing does it. Oh, this thing does it by not having actual. So it uses JSX, but it doesn't use fancy view files. That's annoying. I don't know how to implement that. Code sandbox, add view to vanilla. Let's see if that gives us some good ideas. Sketch Vue.js. New projects without templates, introducing the vanilla template. Vue config production tip. No, that is all built with Vue template, Vue CLI. That is that. No, that's not gonna work. Okay, so I think the best we can do right now is something like this. So we're gonna say const view ref equals use view, and we're gonna give it experiment, and we're gonna then change that. So here I'm going to render a div and say ref is view ref. So the idea is that I'm making a custom hook now that handles integration with Vue so that you can render Vue components inside React components. The part I haven't gotten working is getting Vue configuration to actually work in Code Sandbox alongside React configuration. But we can fix that later. So if we say function use Vue is going to take the element, or let's say Vue component, and is going to do all of this stuff and return the ref. Okay. And here it's going to render Vue component. There we go. So we now get the same error as we did before. Yeah, awesome. Now let's see what happens if we change the Vue component to not use fancy single file components from Vue, but to just have where was that? Let's see, Vue plain JS. Okay, Vue custom element, no. Okay, let me go back. Let me go to my history. Code sandbox. Sketch Vue.js. Query, okay. Cool. So I'm gonna take one of these components just to prove a point. Let's see. I don't know which one to take. This is all pretty terrible. But let's give it a shot. So new file, plain vue.js. We add that. So div id is root. This is so confusing. Let's say just h2. How do I call Vue without the stuff? Return div. It has attributes Vue root, and root is true. And then what is this? So how do I define contents with this? Vue in plain JavaScript. Okay, that's an interesting post. Let's look at the Vue docs. Learn guide. Okay, introduction. Aha. Element app. Yeah, the core view that enables us to declaratively render data to the DOM using straightforward template syntax. How do I do it if I want to use the H directly? Okay, so this is not being a lot of fun right now. We can say text. No, can we say text? Because this is text. Okay, so what if we say it like this? Or let's see, app1. Where is view.component defined? So view.component to do item template. Okay, so if I go here, I can say view component div hello template h1 hello from view h1 and div, and then I can export an actual component. How? Where are we? So view component to do item props to do, but how do I actually render it? How is this doing it? Aha, So I can then do this, return export default name app function, render gets the function h, return h that renders hello. And that I think should work. And we don't need the computed stuff. We do need that. Let's see if that works. The above error occurred. Okay, so I'm gonna stop live coding now. This isn't working at all. I'm not quite sure what's going wrong, but I'm pretty sure that this should work. It's just that something somewhere is going wrong with the Vue and React configuration, and I would have to bust out a custom Webpack config, which I don't feel like doing that right now. So I'm sorry this wasn't more fun, but thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow when we're gonna try to do something actually useful.